Hey everybody, this is Richard, and we're back with another look at GolfTopia, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the tools we have available to help shape your golf course to do exactly the type of thing you want. So we're going to take a look at some paint tools here, so I'm going to quickly just chuck down some fairway. And all the tools have size of modifiers here, so let's say for some reason I really liked this shape and I didn't want to affect it at all, but I want to place a hazard in the middle here. So what I can do is select Sand Trap, and then decide to exclude certain ground types from being painted over. So we'll take out the fairway here and then paint. And you'll notice that only the surfaces that I've allowed will be painted over, and it doesn't change the shape of my course at all. Similarly, I can do this with a path tool if I want to draw a path to and from my golf course without actually changing the shape of the fairway. I can also easily change types by simply excluding the ones I don't want and only leaving the ones I do. So now I've turned this area into a mud patch without changing its shape. Similarly, the cedar tools work this way, so I can pick the types of surfaces I wanted to paint on, and away you go. So I basically created like a little muddy oasis here. And the cedar tool also supports different things like rocks, and for whatever reason, if I only wanted to paint rocks on this pathway over here, you can do that. There's not really much of a reason to do that, but it does demonstrate the power of the tool. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some of the height tools. So, like a lot of these types of games, you got raise, lower, flatten, and smooth. And we're going to take a look at how these work. So as I'm painting, you'll see that certain objects are lighting up, so these trees have been invalidated because of the shape of the terrain. And you can see that there's orange tiles here, which means that you cannot build on them, and the red tiles mean that golfers won't even walk on them. So you can easily tell what your outcome is going to be. And yeah, we'll totally blow those trees away. What have you done for me lately, nature? But let's say that I wanted to preserve certain types of buildings here, so I'm going to go to the raise tool here, and I'm going to say don't edit any of my buildings. So you'll see as I paint around this structure here, it will preserve the foundation of the buildings underneath of it. Saves me some demolition costs. The flatten tool is also very powerful, and it works with the same way, so you can set it here, and you see how it's painting around my structures without actually affecting it. The nature is still allowed to be painted over, but my structures are not. The flatten tool is also really useful for creating things like walls, to keep your golfers out of areas you don't want them to shoot to or walk to. When we look at the flatten tool here, you can see an orange halo that represents the height level. Alt-click will set this down to what's currently under the mouse, allowing you to extend or create plateaus that are easy for your golfers to shoot or walk along. Okay, now we're going to take a look at some of the tools that you can use to create the tubes. So tube networks are very important. And you can see that as I'm moving the tubes around, it's snapping to these 4 locator points. It's trying to figure out the best possible locator to use, but as I'm rotating here, you can see that it's constantly recalculating to what it thinks is the best. But what I want to do is I want to be able to tell it only to use a particular locator attachment, and you can do that. So you can see that certain angles are not viable, and I can change the to and from connection simply by pushing a couple of keys here. So normally this would have attached like directly, but I've created like a little bend here, so it gives your tubes a little bit more flexibility. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at some fun stuff, so you can see that I've got an absolutely enormous golf course here. I've even got long-range weed-killing artillery turrets that are shelling the corner of the map here, trying to destroy the infestation. course I've won an award. My golf course is awesome. So one thing people have been asking a lot about is, can you actually play on your golf course? And yes, you can. So one thing I'm going to do here is enable jerk mode, which allows me to shoot whenever I want without having to wait for the guy in front of me. Use at your own risk. So I've selected my manager here, and you can see a radius has appeared, so this is all the places I can possibly shoot. Instead of having different types of golf clubs, you're actually able to dynamically control the loft of your golf club. One club to rule them all in the future, with the exception of your driver and your putter. And of course I'm in the sand trap. So your golfer starts off with pretty poor skills, and just like other golfers, your manager is going to level up. Not bad. And your manager has thoughts, just like other golfers do, so you can see how they react to your course. So once you get close enough, the final putt is just auto-generated. So I've skipped ahead a little bit here because my manager decided to go to the bar before going on to the next tee. So we're going to take a look at something a little bit more advanced. I'd like my manager to shoot through these series of rings here, so I'm going to have to bring the loft up quite a bit. Oh, Haley! I'm in jerk mode, so I nailed her in the head. Normally golfers won't shoot their balls into other people that are in front of them. They're a little bit more polite than that, but it does happen if your golf course is really complex. And nothing spreads worse than a bad mood, and you can end up with some pretty serious social problems if you're not managing things correctly. And I'd like to end this video today with a quick little look at a trick shot here. While some of these devices are really tricky to use, if you set them up just right, they can be highly effective, and pretty cool too. Well, that's all we got for today, so stay tuned and we'll take another look at this in the near future. Thanks for watching.